Hello, heathens. Welcome to Girls Gone Godless, the podcast where mediocre white men don't make all the rules. I'm Aaliyah.
I'm Christina.
And I'm Noe.
On today's episode, we will be interviewing a fellow heathen and cult survivor, all-around badass, and one of the stars of Amazon's hit docuseries, Shiny Happy People Season 2. Mica Ringo. If you haven't seen the show yet, it is a must. Mica is the person who played the most critical role in exposing and taking down Teen Mania, one of the country's biggest right-wing evangelical cults, and we are so thrilled to be able to hear more of their incredible story. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Mica. Welcome.
Yes, thank you,
Hi,
Mica.
guys. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me on the most godless podcast.
Thank you so much. We are so excited.
Yeah. Is it okay if we dive right in?
Dive. Yeah, I don't do small talk. Let's just go deep, straight off.
Let's do it.
Sure thing. Yeah, I grew up like non-denominational, charismatic Christianity, like the strip mall churches with the, there was not submitted to any greater, bigger thing. And it was sort of like speaking in tongues, laying on of hands and slaying in the spirit and just sort of anything goes. But also very backed by like purity culture, and everything in the Bible is literal and we take it, very extreme. And, I was raised going to like abortion protests and right to life and, Jesus marches, and just like everything was politics and religion all wrapped up together. And I was completely raised in that and went to Christian school my whole life, never went to public school, went to, Christian college, went to Teen Mania. It was just like everything was completely in this bubble that they've created to keep us separate from the rest of the world, so we don't figure out their scam.
Right.
What college did you go to, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, I went to Asbury College in Kentucky, which is a Methodist school, which normally you don't think of as very charismatic, but they have kind of a charismatic revival bent. So it's a very small private Christian school, and that's what I was used to, small private Christian. Like, I don't know how to interact with the godless people. They're terrifying to me,
All those heathens out there.
Yeah. They have tattoos and they use curse words and they like boys. Ugh.
Terrifying.
Well, do we like boys? I guess.
Sometimes.
Anyway.
I mean, but I mistook that for like spiritual character or like my ability to like stay against my flesh or something to kill myself. But really, I just was never interested in men ever. So it wasn't hard.
Right. And so did you always know that when you were younger? I mean, how was grappling with that being in such an extreme religious,
Yeah, I didn't know I was gay for a long time. And I'd like had, like little boyfriends and whatever in high school and like little crushes and stuff. And honestly, little high school boys are pretty much like girls in some like look wise in some ways. So
yes.
So like when I kissed dating goodbye, it felt like I was making some kind of big sacrifice, but like in reality, like there wasn't a whole lot that I was interested in pursuing.
You're like, I don't know what the big deal is.
Well, you feel like you're missing out because everybody makes such a big deal out of it. So you feel like, well, I am missing out on something. I just don't quite know what that thing is, but I'm going to choose that, God is better. So. And
before any of this stuff that's in the show, did you ever have any like inkling of this is weird or this is wrong or something is up, like at any age or multiple times or anything?
Definitely, yes. There was definitely several times I can go back and see, like when you're in like junior high and you're starting to, for the first time, start to go, okay, well, this is what my parents believe, but what do I actually believe? And you're starting to make that distance. And I think that was exactly when my mom was like, no, I'm going to clamp down even harder because I see that you're trying to individuate. I see that you're trying to make up your own mind. And she was not going to allow that. So like I was forced to go to my church to Choir the Fire. I didn't want to be there, which is why I sat in the front row like this. Cause like I just had my arms crossed and a scowl on my face because I wanted everybody on the stage to know I didn't want to be there. That was my first night at a Choir the Fire.
Which probably made them work harder to try to get you.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? I mean, and no, like almost no teen is going to be able to like overcome the amount of like manipulation from that environment. It's so intense, and like everybody around you is crying and screaming, and the lights are low, and the music is like you just get swept up into it,
Of course, yeah. And we've talked about in our previous episodes, like, is it the Holy Spirit or is it the mass ritual kind of the big crescendo of the music, and it's like
The lights and the fog machine.
Yeah, concerts do the same thing. So
Yeah.
I totally
And
understand that feeling.
even like when it's not concerts, because, you know, the show specifically showed a time where everybody's dead quiet, there's no music, there's no lights, and the kids just have to stand up and say, I want the cross.
Mm-hmm.
In the complete dark on their, and like, it was really powerful. But you know what? It would be just as powerful, if not more powerful, if they stood up and said something like, I am alive, instead of I want the cross. You know, like
Right.
it would still give you that same sense of like the chills and the excitement and the belonging and the feeling like something is happening. Like, it's not the words, it's just what people are doing, you know, and it's
Right.
just, they inserted those Christian words and made you think that, oh, it's this. So now I have to go this direction. But it was just all smoke and mirrors, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, like, at what point did you go from sitting in the front row, arms crossed, to there had to be some level of like you buying into it, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For you to,
I think
So, like,
April
how
on the
did
show
you?
really, I think, summed it up so well in a way that I couldn't have even summed it up. Like, it just, because we were all kids and they were telling us to repent, but we hadn't done anything. And especially me, I was always a goody two shoes. Like, what have I've never cheated on a test. What have I done? You know? And so, but I felt like I felt like this huge sinner that was just so terrible. And thank God that he had the mercy on me, and to, you know, like, and it was just, yeah, that feeling of constant, like, not enough. I'm innately bad. I'm innately wrong. I'm innately broken. Something about me is just, it has to be fixed. It's not acceptable. And this is how I get fixed.
And preteen, teenagers already think they're a piece of shit anyway. Like, nothing they can do is right, and everything feels weird, and hormones suck. So you're already like, I suck.
Right.
And so
And
now
they're-
God thinks I suck. I guess I have to fix myself.
Yeah, and I think
Oh my
they know
God.
that, and they're capitalizing on that for sure.
And then, Micah, how old were you when you went to the first Acquire the Fire, where you're sitting in the front row, arms
Yeah,
crossed?
I was 15 at my first Acquire the Fire, 9th grade. Hadn't even started my period yet. Like, so like, you're 15, but you're still a kid. Like, you're not,
Right.
you know?
Yeah,
And I'm,
they
like,
don't have
I'm
that.
always a late bloomer.
Yeah.
So
That's
by
okay.
the end of the first Acquire the Fire, were you starting to feel it? You're like, okay,
Oh,
or did
yeah.
it take longer? Yeah.
Oh, by the
first one
end,
got
by
you.
my night 2, I was on my knees, weeping, fully feeling like I'm having some kind of born again experience. And I took the depth of like the emotion, and I'm a big feeler. Like, I feel way more than most people, I've learned. And so whatever everybody else is feeling, I'm feeling that like times 10, times 50, you know? So I just took that as evidence of like the power of the Holy Spirit. And this means it was so real, you know, because I didn't have other language to understand it. And so that carried me through that like first year. And then once you realize, oh, I'm going to get to do this every year, it almost becomes like an addiction in some ways. It's like, because you're using it to regulate yourself. And yeah, and like your mood is based on, am I following the rules of this identity that I've like co-opted? And yeah, it just gets like right up in you, and it gets into your brain, and you can't tell the difference between you and the thing anymore, you know, and it just becomes all smushed together, and then that's not good.
Did you, aside from Acquire the Fire, were you attending any other like religious things? Like, were you going to church camp during the summer, or, you know, what was your experience like with that?
Oh yeah, if I wasn't at church, you know, every day of the week, I was doing something Jesus-y. I was hanging with Jesus people. I was, you know, reading the Bible. I was reading Christian books. I was listening to Christian music. I was not like putting anything into my mind that was quote unquote worldly or secular or of the devil, you know? So even if I wasn't like in church in that moment, I was always in church, like in my mind, you know, like it was constant 24/7. I wasn't one of those people that was like, I pray on Sunday for all the sins that I've done Monday to Friday so I can feel okay about it. Like, I was like, I'm going to choose 24/7 because I really believe this, you know?
Yeah, of course. And I don't know about you, but me being autistic, like something about the routine of it and the structure, I'm sure, and then add in the hyperfixation of like,
it's so nice.
Yeah.
Like, I just do this and I get this. Like, great. It's like a formula. You just plug it in. It's the certainty. Like, oh, if I kiss dating goodbye, I will get a good marriage and a good spouse. I won't be heartbroken and betrayed and cheated on and blah 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 blah. Right. Like, so yeah, I can do this to get that. Like, that's easy. But life does not work that way at all.
Right.
Right. Yeah, and see, somebody who's like never had any religion, just watching, like, I had no idea that was happening. I had no idea that was even a thing. This is the first time I've ever heard of Teen Mania or any of that stuff. Like,
that must be nice.
But when I see it, I'm like, what? And then for somebody like Aaliyah, who was raised in different religions, it just probably seems kind of like normal in a way.
Well, no, I went to Acquire the Fire and I went to Battle Cry. So
what?
Yeah, I did say. I swear I said this, Noe. Like,
that's kind of important information.
Okay, that's why when I said, like, sorry, I've had a crazy week, I haven't had a ton of time to research, I lived it. Like, I feel like
okay,
I did say that.
Okay, I didn't put two and two together. Okay, so
Pull up
Aaliyah,
the receipts. Yeah.
Okay,
so,
all right.
Yeah.
All right. Aaliyah's been to Acquire the Fire.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. So Aaliyah has the experience.
Yeah, I grew up in a Pentecostal church. I went to a Christian university. I've attended Acquire the Fire. I've gone to Battle Cry. I went to Jesus Church Camp. Yes. Anyway,
you get me. We grew up in the same
we
world.
We get each other. Yes.
Yes.
And we left. And we're
Thank
doing
goodness.
revolutionary things. So
Yes.
I get it.
Yeah, I come from a big Mormon family, and obviously I'm not. So that's kind of the extent of my, it's kind of a different culty Christian.
Oh,
not the same though.
Not very culty.
It's got its distinct own flavor for sure.
Yeah, a lot less in your face. Very boring.
Very boring.
Very rigid. When I think of Mormon, I just think of like, they've got the rules about the caffeine and like, the underwear and like everything is like so minutely like controlled.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. It's just a different flavor of cult. Yeah. Exactly. So, Mica, when you went to college, was your, I guess, indoctrination, did that grow deeper? And then I also am curious about what your experience was like at college. Like, what rules did your Methodist university have? I'm always curious about this because I went to a Christian university also, and there were some pretty strict rules. And so I'm wondering how that contributed to you kind of ending up working for Teen Mania and, the whole thing. Give me the college story.
I went to Teen Mania straight out of high school. And then after Teen Mania, I went to college. And so I think my college experience was probably different than most people's because I was like in a very extreme PTSD, but I didn't know it. I knew I was upset a lot, but I didn't understand that I was in a very re-triggering environment because it was similar to Teen Mania in a lot of ways. So I'm literally constantly being re-triggered with like the most severe trauma I've had of my life so far. And I have no support. I'm in a new, state. Like my college experience was very informed by just trying to recover from what the hell just happened to me, right?
And I'm sure you didn't have tools because you were brought up within that community. So how do you have tools to heal from something they, deny is happening?
I didn't, not even to heal. I didn't even know for the first couple of years until I finally got a clue and went to counseling. I thought it was all my fault. I thought I was a bad person. I thought it was the fact that I've been shunned is evidence that I'm bad somehow. Like there's something wrong that has to be fixed.
Watching you like say you were doing everything, and when other people have said, I'm doing everything, I'm living it, I'm breathing it, and I'm still not good enough, that is just heartbreaking.
Right. Especially people in authority and all of the people you love and care about. Of course, you're going to feel like, well, all of these people that I hold up here are telling me that I'm the bad one. Of course, you're going to feel like, well, I must be because all of these people are telling me.
Yeah. Especially when you're like in the innermost circle of it all too, which I feel like, Mica, you were Ron Luce's executive assistant, right? So like you're like right up in it. So then to be on the farthest outside of it.
All of a sudden to go from the top of the inner circle to garbage out the door in 24 hours, like disorienting, destabilizing, like just, I mean, that first year out, that is the hardest year of my life, like bar none. Like that was brutal. And I think most Teen Mania people, even if they like Teen Mania, and I still did for many years, will say that the first year out is so hard. Because we don't know how to live in the real world anymore. They've like beaten it out of us. Like we literally don't know. And the way that they've trained us to be is so offensive to everybody around us. So we it's so hard to make friends. It's like, and then that sent us right back to the cult, right? Because they're the only people that understand us. And so you can get it trapped into this cycle, and it's really hard to get out.
So speaking of getting out, so you said it was high school, and then it was teen mania, and then college.
Yep.
And then after college, when did you decide to leave religion, or like what did that look like?
Yeah, I didn't actually leave religion until like maybe halfway through like the whole working on the Teen Mania blog and the whole experience with like getting them shut down. Of course, we never knew that was going to be the outcome. We just thought this is a blog that we're just doing, you know. But it was like maybe 2 or 3 years into that experience, and it wasn't because of the hurt or the pain. It was legitimately because that was the first time I'd ever interacted with people who were outside of the church, and I trusted them. Like I believed that they weren't lying to me when they told me their pain. And I believed what they were saying was legitimate. And that was the first time I believed anybody outside of Christianity had a legitimate point of view. Because I couldn't deny I had the same pain. Like I couldn't say this pain is real and that pain is not real.
Yeah.
You know? So that was kind of, to me, like maybe that was like the opening point. And like as those people stayed in relationship with me, it opened me more and more. But really the key for me was around the age of 30, I was like, you know what? I don't really know where the Bible came from. Like I've heard like people talk about it in passing, but like, I don't really know like how we got here. And I've heard it's like this amazing miracle that God did. And I'm going to strengthen my faith by finding out where the Bible came from. Thus began my accidental deconstruction, which was very traumatic because I was not expecting to find what I found. But I think just the way I'm wired is that like once I've seen something is true, I can't unsee it. And I have to adjust my life to fit that truth in it, even if it hurts or it makes other things in my life feel different, you know?
Yeah. When you were studying and like researching, you said when you're, you know, about 30, about where the Bible came from, can you like name a couple of things that were kind of revolutionary or eye-opening for you that led to that deconstruction?
You know, it's been a while, so it's certainly not top of mind, but I remember just being surprised at the inconsistencies in the Gospels. They're talking about the same account and they're saying things are the opposite of what they are. And so things like that, and just things like, oh man, I wish I could remember because like I did so much reading. I listened to podcasts. Literally, I was like begging for information to confirm that the Bible was real. Because I'd found information that said it wasn't, and I was like, please let me find something that refutes this. Like, please, because this is my whole identity. It's my whole life. It's all my community. It's all my friends, all my family. Like, I don't want to leave this, you know?
Right.
And so like I was very reluctant to deconvert. It took me months because I was like hoping that I would find something that would show me that it is true after all. Because that certainty feels so good. Like, it's like, it removes so much stress, but it's fake. Like there is no certainty. That's what life is. Like it's uncertain.
That's what's like so crazy to me when people are in situations like this and then they're still Christian after. I just wonder like the God that they think is so great and that they're following let all of this terrible stuff happen. But then you get out and you're still like searching for real Christianity and kind of like going that direction. Is that what happens? Because I feel like everybody would just be atheist and be like, nope, I'm done. But that's not how it seems to happen.
I think both things happen. Like, and I think I did both things actually. Just first I'm still a Christian, but I'm not that kind of Christian. And I did that for years, you know? And then once I got to the whole Bible thing, and I was like, then that's that's when I boomeranged into atheism, because I was like, I'm going to go the opposite direction. I'm not going to believe anything that I can't see, touch, feel, taste, proof, evidence only. Here, don't come to me with your bullshit. And so I was going to certainty again, right? It was just the opposite. And it's not any better because, again, there's no certainty. And I'm just trying to cling to it. And, you know, I'm trying to learn to befriend her instead. And
right. It's uncomfortable having the unknown, for sure.
Yes.
So where are you at with that now? Like with your spirituality, is that still like a big part of your life?
Yeah, it's funny. I would say like my spirituality is probably a bigger part of my life now than it's ever been. And I feel like that's partly because it's more real, like because it's more connected to my actual spirit and not my ego or the roles I've been forced to perform or the expectations that I've been forced to take on. Like it's more authentic and it's more alive.
Yeah, you're not being told by some old white dude what to do, and you can just
Yeah.
feel your authentic self.
Yeah.
It's great.
No old white dudes, no old anybody, no anybody, you know, like
Know anybody.
there's, and it's so hard to do that, right? Because we have already like so much programming put into us against our consent, even like we're kids, we don't know. It's just the society is putting all this into us. And so it's like, okay, I have to leave this system. But then I spend the rest of my whole life like taking out every little poke they put in my brain and every different way they programmed me to react or to think or to focus on this instead of that. Like all of that is lifelong undoing it. So like if you didn't get exposed to a bunch of shit to unpack, it's like you're ahead of the game because you get to just like go forward with the baggage. But the rest of us are like, we have to get all the like heavy crap off first because we can't move. Like we're just like weighed down by everything.
You
know?
have a lot more guilt and shame.
I didn't have any of that shit, and I'm still a mess. So
right, well, that's what I'm saying. Is like people sometimes think like deconstruction is the point, and like deconstruction is not the point. Being alive is the point. Living your life is the point. Deconstruction is the thing that helps you to get to that. But let's just not stay in deconstruction forever. Like there's so much more to life, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And Christina, I think something that you might not like have a full grasp on because you didn't grow up in religion, but like how important it is to have this blind faith where, because you were talking about how you can't understand how people will still cling on to some form of like religion or belief in the Bible. It's because, you know, it's drilled into you to have this faith, to believe this thing. And so it's also drilled into you that people will persecute you for being a Christian, or like people will try to like get you to not believe in things anymore. So like I think there's that thing in the back of your head where you're like, oh no, I need to have faith, or this is just Satan or the adversary or the enemy, and this is just the people who I've been told are gonna persecute me for being Christian. So I think like no matter what point you get to while you're like leaving religion, there is that point in time where you're like, wait a minute, no, I'm supposed to have faith when things get hard, and this is just the challenge that God is giving me.
Right. Yeah, I can't fathom that.
Yeah.
And Mica, you had a TikTok the other day, and I have heard this before about like missionaries or like people who come to your door, and like the whole goal is for people to slam the door in their face because they're just telling them this is what's going to happen to you. They're not like you. They're going to hurt you. And so now, I mean, I'm not mean to people, Jehovah's Witnesses and stuff that come to my door. I have a sign that says, don't come to my door if you're religious, but I might take it down because I'm thinking like now I'm gonna like offer them cookies and tea and be like, I'm an atheist, but I'm so nice, and like maybe like somebody will be like, hey, it's not, they're not slamming the door in my face, and they're offering me water and all that kind of stuff, and maybe just one person will be like, that little
one person to prove to them not all atheists are evil. If they see it with their eyes, like the cognitive dissonance will sit in the back of their mind. It may not sprout fully and like free them, but it'll sit there. They can't pretend they didn't have that experience and that they didn't see that side of humanity.
Yeah. The whole mission trip, especially in Mormon world, is a huge thing. And really, it's not about converting the people that they're going to visit. It's about
because what is the actual conversion rate that they're getting from that? It cannot be.
No,
0.1 of 1%. It's got to be.
They're just trying to reinforce that us versus them mentality to scare them. And I mean, a lot of people in my family, you get sent out when you're 18, 19 years old, and they're all so sheltered. You don't get to pick what country you're going to. I mean, I have family who's, had permanent like medical issues since then. They just throw these kids out into the world with no skills, and it's just meant to traumatize them and reinforce the others are bad, so
the others are bad. We're the safe ones. We will take care of you. You can trust us. We won't hurt you. Those people out there are going to hurt you. They don't care about what you have to say. They don't care about you. They're just putting your door in your face. Like they're setting you up, like they're sending you out, do this offensive thing. People be offended. And then it's proof that, we're the wounded ones. It's just,
right.
As a kid, you cannot see that level of manipulation. You're just taking things at face value.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're supposed to trust adults when we're kids.
Exactly.
Especially when it's like your parents or,
someone that you
an
really
authority
respect.
figure around you. Yeah.
I think one thing maybe people like Christina have a hard time understanding too is like, well, why would parents send their kids to the Teen Mania Honor Academy if this is what's happening? And one thing I don't think a lot of people realize is that for me and for a lot of kids, that was less abusive than the home environment we came out of. So it's an improvement for us.
Right.
That's some level of freedom. That's like that, just so you know, like that's why the abuse is so freaking normalized in that culture. Like if you're not abused, like you're the exception, I would say, if you've been in that culture and you've somehow been not abused. Once you've had the community feeling of a cult, like I've never had like super hard drugs, but I kind of think maybe it's like that. It's like it's a high that you can't get naturally, but once you've had it, you really want it again, because it is very intoxicating to be in this group of like 500 kids that's all your age, all like have the same mission and the same focus and the same commitment, and you're living together 6 to a room in triple bunk bed. Like you're physically intimate, you're emotionally intimate, you're spiritually, like, and even to this day, people that we weren't even in the same year, we can have a conversation and connect like that, like in a way that I can't connect with other people that were not in the cult. So like there is some human belonging, like feeling that is like, it's like a drug, and the cult can dispense it and make you addicted to it. And that's why it's so powerful, the idea of leaving, because I'm not just physically moving my body from one area to another. I'm not just leaving a few relationships. I'm also like leaving the entire thing my nervous system depends on. And that feels like death.
Yeah. So when people were bon voyaged, that's what it was, right?
Yeah.
BV'd.
Yeah.
Actually
cool, isn't it? Like bon voyage, like it's just such a great description of like, they just act like it's nothing when it's
no big deal.
Super traumatic for everybody that's been through it.
Right. So like they left and you guys were just supposed to pretend like they never existed, right?
Yeah.
Which
exactly
obviously those are like best friends and people that you've shared so much with. Did you personally push it down and go, okay, they never existed? Or did you have time to like grieve them?
No time. I'm trying to think, like none of my close friends or associates like BV'd early, but I did have one roommate that quit early. And so they're kind of in the same boat in this, like mentally, like, oh, you didn't do the whole thing, you didn't follow God's will, blah, blah, blah. And I definitely believed that about her at the time, like, oh, what you're doing is not right. And like, we didn't keep in touch, but also that was the 90s and before cell phones, and like keeping in touch wasn't as easy as it is now. So I don't know if I would have, if it was the area of cell phones. Like, I don't know. I'm curious how that happened for the like later classes, because it's so much easier to keep in touch with somebody now. But it was like literally like, okay, they're gone. They don't exist. Nobody talks about them. They just, like a sci-fi dystopian, like boom, they're gone. They don't exist. And we just continue
like they
on.
were raptured.
They were raptured.
Is that something that you guys believed in, the rapture?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Big time. Oh, my whole life was like preparing for the end times, and we're going to have to smuggle the Jews again. Everything was about the end of the world and the Antichrist and the mark of the beast and, the tribulation, and all of that.
Did it like jump up quite a lot after the Columbine massacre? Is that when things really started to get to like a military level, or was it even before that?
And I think definitely Ron and Christianity in general used that Columbine moment as a rallying cry, as a like emotional punch point with that generation to make them think a lot of certain things that they needed to do and be. And I think it's always been about domination with these people, right? It's always colonial domination. It's never cooperating. It's never care. It's never like rooted in mutual thriving. And so, it was probably always going to be military themed, right? Like regardless. But I think also, that was also like a little bit before 9/11 happened. Then that's a whole change of the way people think about patriotism. And all of that.
We just did an episode recently about that, and it's crazy how these events can shape the politics for so many years after, and they use it to their advantage.
Well, I mean, and if you think about it, like, so it's like late 90s, early 2000s, we're all rah, 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 with all this war stuff. And then George Bush is sending people out to war, to like go fuck with people who didn't have anything to do with it. And I was voting for it. I was like, hell yeah, go nuke them to glass. I was like fully bought into all of it. I had no comprehension of what I was saying when I was saying that. Like, I knew they were going to die, but like they weren't people to me. Like they're all just like dehumanized, like they're demons, they're demonic, they're, like even when I was like talking to somebody who wasn't saved, it's never like, oh, we're two equal people sharing our opinions. It's like, if you say anything that doesn't fit the criteria, you're the devil trying to trick me. Like are walking around having no idea that your neighbors literally think like you are the devil. They're never going to tell you, but that's how they're going to treat you.
I mean, some people have told me
some people will tell you. So speaking of mission trips, did you go on the global mission trips?
I did. I went to Hong Kong and China. We did the Bible smuggling and the dramas. And then the next year I went to Peru. And we just did the dramas there, and we did every trip would have like I think they called a village trip, where for like a few days you would go to some like really remote rural area of the country. So in Peru, we went into the rainforest, and we took this boat, like a 2-day giant boat trip down some river in the rainforest to get to this like jungle town. I don't know what it was exactly. Like I picture we were like literally trekking through the jungle. To what? Go show these people a drama? I don't know. They were probably like, what is this nonsense that showed up at our door? What the heck is this?
Right. What cracked me up in the show was, I think his name was Zach. I'm sorry if I'm misremembering, but when he says, these poor people who didn't have the honor of seeing a teen performance, like they're all going to hell. It's so sad for them. It's just wild. Like, what do people do out there that have never heard of it? Do they just automatically go to hell?
I think that like part of it is you don't necessarily always, when you're in that world, like take your beliefs to their logical conclusions, and because then you would see how ridiculous they are. And so I think that's why critical thinking is like so important. Because I remember one of the first things, I was still Christian, but I was thinking to myself, like, if I was just walking down the street and I saw a group of random teenagers performing a drama, I wouldn't watch and change like my whole life and religion based on that. Like in no world would I ever do that. So why do I think other people would? And that was like the first crack. But let's like follow that out to its logical conclusion. And then the logical conclusion is, oh, this isn't even for them because it's ridiculous. It's to indoctrinate us, but it took me a long time to figure that one out.
I think someone on the documentary said something like they had gone to Australia and they were knocking on people's doors and basically saying like, hey, we're American and we're putting on this play. And the people who were in the homes of the doors they were knocking on probably like felt bad for these kids of like, oh gosh, you've been human trafficked here to Australia. Out of pity, I will go watch you do your drama thing. But like, I'm not going to be converted because this is bad. Like, this is not normal.
That's where, like, honestly, I think a lot of the times when we drew crowds, it was out of like bizarre, you're watching a train wreck. You're watching, it's like, you're not there because you're so compelled by the message. You're like, what the fuck is this?
How can we help these children?
Why are people dancing around like mimes to Jesus music? Like, I'm concerned. Like, I'm not interested. I'm concerned.
Exactly. Difference. We were not picking up on that.
And then you're like finished and you're done and you go back and you're like, that was life-changing. I feel like we really got to people.
Well, after we would do the drama, we would rotate through. Everybody would get a turn to like share their testimony, and the translator would translate. And then we'd give an altar call after every single drama, invite people to raise their hands if they want to, accept Jesus as their savior. And then we would count them up. And then I'd be like, oh, I got 100 hands today. Woo! Like, it's just like, that doesn't mean anything.
Right. Wow.
And that's based on 100 people raise their hand because they're like, this is hilarious. Let's see what else they'll do. Like, Let's play along. Let's see
Right.
what else is going on. You
The
know?
interpreters all saying, now if everyone could just raise their hand for these poor children.
Exactly. Oh my God, 100%.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
God.
And like the humiliation, like the egg, smashing the egg on the head for donations, that again to me, I was like, wasn't anybody thinking like, why would God want me to be humiliated for
No, God, no.
money?
No, humiliation was normal. You shouldn't care about what you feel or think or what anybody thinks about you.
Yeah.
That's of the flesh. You don't need to worry about that.
Well, it's also like, if God would send his son to die for me, I can do whatever else for him and for saving
ultimate guilt
someone's
trip.
soul. Yeah.
Right.
Like,
I
that's in the
birthed
back of your
you,
mind
and
all
I
the time.
carried you for 8 months, so I can, it's just the same thing.
Yeah, I think
Right.
even though I come from a Mormon family, my parents are not very religious. My mom is married to a woman now. So I think Christina and I have a harder time understanding some things because we didn't grow up with it while our brains were developing, and we don't know what that's like because you weren't given the opportunity to have critical thinking skills. All of the people you trusted were, feeding this stuff to you. So it's like we didn't have our brains impacted by that. So it's hard for us to understand now. But I imagine if we were kids and our brain, was soaking that up like a sponge, that.
Well, and that's why, like, one thing I really liked about the documentary, because I was really concerned. I said no the first few times because I was like, Hollywood people, they just want to make the sensationalist version of it, and they don't show like the real stuff. The real trauma is not the stuff that goes on a camera. It's not the rolling down a hill of vomit. It's the interpersonal things, right? And so, I just totally lost my train of thought by ADHD.
That's okay.
What was the question, guys? I'm sorry.
We all have ADHD here.
Every single one of us.
Thank goodness. It's like I've got a thought, and then it just goes. I don't even know where it went.
Yeah,
all the time.
It goes to where all the missing socks go. It's fine.
Yes.
One day we're gonna stumble on and be like, "Wow, you guys! I didn't remember this one."
I'm looking forward to that.
What were we
day.
talking about?
Rolling down a hill with vomit,
right.
And how
I know, indoctrination, because I think like that, what I hope Shiny Happy People shows people is that their neighbors, their kids' teacher, their, like, some portion of our society grew up completely different than everybody else. Because in the 70s, 80s, 90s is when they first created, this entire parallel ecosystem society where now you can go to Christian school, listen to Christian music, watch Christian movies, read Christian books, have Christian comics, listen, like everything. There was a Christian alternative for everything. So you never had to interact with the world. And so all of your developmental processes and experiences are with people in the cult. And that really forms you, limits you, constricts you in ways you don't even know because it's your normal. I can't even tell you how many therapists I've been to in my life. Nobody once ever suggested that I was disassociated. And I was like crazy disassociated because I was never associated, almost like parenting practices like disassociated us from ourselves so early with like the spanking and like, violent expectations. Therapists are assuming that people are coming in with like a sense of self or some sort of inner resources that most people get because their parents are mirroring their emotions back to them and giving them like attunement. But if you've never had your emotions validated or mirrored ever, you're not going to have any sense of self, and you're not going to know you don't have one because you don't even, it's like,
right. You don't know what that is.
Right.
Yeah. And so I couldn't articulate what I needed to a therapist because I didn't know. And I don't think they could understand the incredible impact of growing up in this while you're developing, while you're supposed to be able to create secure attachments, and you're not able to because of the punishment, the threats, the violence that are inherent to Christianity. How can you ever be securely attached if you're worried about hell?
Right.
Yeah.
That, or like your parents are getting their parenting advice from like James Dobson.
Yeah. And they're spanking you and you don't even know why because you're only 2 and you don't even understand the concept of consequences of like one thing happens in this, then this thing happens. You don't even get that yet. And they think you have a developed will that needs to be broken.
Right.
Like there's a real disconnect between like reality and like what they're doing. Like babies don't have a will that needs to be broken.
No.
But that's what the parents are taught. There's like, let your kid cry or your baby's trying to manipulate you. No, babies can't meet their needs and they're just trying to get their needs met. And if it stops crying because you let it cry it out, it's probably just disassociated itself. They can't regulate. They literally don't have the wiring yet. That's why you're supposed to.
They're just giving up
to that. Yeah,
right.
exactly.
They've just learned that nobody is going to come.
That's it. That's what you learn. Nobody's going to come. Might as well not feel it. Might as well give up and just try to survive it.
Yep.
And who makes that easy to control? If a kid grows up feeling like that, are they going to be easier to control than a kid that grows up being told that they're important, that they're valuable, that their thoughts and opinions matter? Which of those kids is going to be easier to control?
Oof. Yeah. And I know Ron Luce is like one in so many that are doing the same things at different ages, different times, different things. But it's literally like if these fuckers would just go to therapy and learn how to just live their life with the trauma we had. Everybody has shitty childhoods. Like you work on it, you get through it, you find people who love you, you get friends, you find partners who validate you, and like all this stuff. And that's all he had to do. But instead took all these people down with him and just like ruined their lives. And it's, not just him, everybody. They had shitty dads who never told them they loved them, and now here they are just like trying to run the country into the ground and
I didn't make a cult, like
right.
My dad was never around, and I'm fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's really, like, you nailed it, Christina. I mean, I think the best thing we can do for the entire world is to feel our own pain and to not make other people feel it, because it's not theirs. They already have their own. And like, I think we can sit with each other and be in grief with each other. But I think I've spent a lot of my life being a sponge for other people's pain because they didn't want to feel it. So I took it on. And I can't transmute their pain. I can only transmute my pain. And so every time we're putting the pain onto somebody else, we're just spreading it into the world. That's what we're doing. So it's like, you have a choice. You can either feel it, like actually let yourself feel it and not run from it and hide from it, and not try to pretend yourself that it doesn't actually matter and you don't actually hurt and you don't actually care about them anyway, or whatever we tell ourselves to try to make it not hurt. Right. Like, if you can do that, that's manly. That's like, people want to do that. Okay, what's more manly than confronting your inner demons?
Yeah, I was gonna say it all goes back to like the toxic masculinity, not letting boys feel their emotions. It's like you're creating these little psychotic monsters. Just let them,
What they feel. You gotta feel your emotions. Everybody's human, And if we're gonna deny that we're human, then that's how we become monsters.
Yeah, but I mean, the Bible itself is like the most toxic masculinity propaganda that exists. Yeah.
Preach it. How many pages of the book do I need to flip through till I find do not rape? There's hundreds of pages and I can't find do not rape in the whole book. Like, come on. Like, it's ridiculous.
Like, just the glorification of war, the glorification of the subjugation of women. Like, I mean, that could be a whole podcast, not just an episode, but that could be a whole podcast. Like, on its own.
Yeah. I mean, I think like there's no other ancient texts that I rely on to navigate my day-to-day life in the modern world. I mean, maybe Sun Tzu occasionally, but like, I'm not like looking to these sheep herder guys that had no clue about science or like any worldview outside of their own. Why would I limit myself to that when we've had all this history and science and knowledge and advancement between now and then? And I'm not going to take advantage of any of that. And I'm just going to stay stuck 3,000 years ago. Like, that's stupid.
It's like, how many accounts of like a psychotic episode are these people actually having? What's going on in the Bible? Like you're telling me that Abraham was told to go on a mountain and like murder his son, and then all of a sudden just changed his mind.
You got it.
Sure. And you're the one that has all these religions based off of you and your belief system.
Dude, and that is like such a key foundational like scripture passage. Like, it's certainly in the way I grew up, it was always like, telling parents, like, you have to be willing to sacrifice your kid. What does that mean? That means if they're gay, you cut them off because you can't deny Christ, So like, my mom's being a great Christian. she's like, Isaac, we don't care. We don't give a shit. Let him get the knife to your throat,
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Well, no, she's missing out.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I still stand by. I said it about Joseph Smith. Like, I think he was on acid or mushrooms. I think they were just eating shit in the forest and in the deserts and stuff. And they were just like having these hallucinations. And then like now we're stuck with these laws and shit based on.
I take acid and start a religion. I feel like I could do it better. Do you guys want to be in it?
100%.
Yeah.
We'll start it tomorrow.
Yeah, let's get on it. Yeah.
We're all about communes.
We want to be gay.
You gotta be a little bit queer at least.
A little bit at least.
You gotta be at least a little interested.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
No, I mean, I think like just the way we have society set up where everybody's atomized into their own little house and we all have to have our own one of everything. And
I hate it.
This heterosexual pairing that doesn't seem to be working for either sex, let's be real. Men don't seem to like it. Women don't seem to like it. I don't know why y'all are forcing yourself into it. Like,
right.
Figure something else out. I don't know. Let all the women live together and the men can visit you once a week. I don't know. Y'all can figure it out. But
We talk about that all the time, us three. We're like, we just need to get like a plot of land and have our own houses, but still be close enough that like, you need me, I'm going to be there for your kids or, you know.
Yeah,
I think that society is really missing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to like even have neighbors that you can be like, oh, I got to do this unexpected thing. Can you like watch the kids for an hour? Or, you know, like that used to be a thing like everybody kind of had. And like now, like, if you have it, you're like super lucky.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I think that religion fills that for so many people because there isn't a great alternative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, and that's part of the big community aspect that I know that I feel like I've missed out on in my, you know, adult life. I'm a mom now, and having that community that you would have if, you know, I was somebody that attended church is definitely something that I realize is a big element for a lot of people. And I understand, and having a kid now, I feel like I understand that even more than what I did before. So I absolutely hear that. I think I'm really curious to know, my ADHD brain's all over the place because I'm just so excited. How did you end up being Ron Luce's executive assistant? Like, what was there like a ladder that you climbed in, like in the Honor Academy to get there?
That's hilarious. So in the very first week of the Honor Academy is called Gauntlet Week. Okay. And it's different than all the other weeks. So they're putting you through all kinds of different tests. So like personality tests, skill tests, writing tests, because they want to see like, okay, we have all these kids and what departments are we going to slot them in? Who's good at what? That kind of thing, right? I mean, they tell you they're praying about it, but really they're just seeing like, oh, you're good at writing. Okay, we're going to put you in this writing job. Oh, you're good at talking on the phone. Okay, go to the call center, whatever. And I think one thing about me is I'm very loud and expressive, but only when I'm in an environment that I'm comfortable in. And so because it was my first week, I was very quiet. So I think they probably regretted their choice after a while. But it was just like, I guess they just liked my test. I don't know. Like I did notice like they would take us to a high ropes and a low ropes course, and they had us in small groups. And at the beginning, I'm like, oh God, this is so stupid. I hate these dumb things, you know? And it's like, everybody has to do this objective and let's all help each other. And I'm just like, ugh, whatever. But then I noticed that the staff member with us was writing things down on his clipboard. And I was like, oh shit, this is a test. They're watching us and they're like seeing how we do. So then I was like super helpful and like cheering them on. I had my mask all the way up because I was like, I didn't want to get put in the call center. Y'all, I did not want to get put in the call center.
Right.
So
telemarketer for Jesus.
At the end of the week, they read out all the names and, you know, they tell you your departments. And like, that was not even on my radar because it's like it's like the smallest department. Like it's only like 3 or 4 people. Like all the other departments are really big. And was just not even a thing I thought I would do. But very interesting. And I mean, I will say for this, Ron is who he is on stage. He is that person off stage as well.
At least he's consistent.
Yeah. And I took that to mean authentic. Consistent and authentic are not the same.
What was your daily schedule like? Could you take us through a day of like, when did you get up? And,
you know, I can't remember exactly. It's like 5:36 probably is when they would get us up. We would do corporate exercise, which would be like either like group calisthenics or we would do like laps around the campus. And like it's still dark outside. It's very early. Then we go back to the dorms. We each get 2 minutes to take a shower because, you know, there's like 3 showers for everybody on this half of the dorm. There's 3 showers for everybody on that half of the dorm. So it's like, you know, you got to hurry. And then, you know, you run to the cafeteria, maybe you have 20, 30 minutes to eat. And then you either go to your job placement or a couple of days of the week, there'd be like chapel or some kind of class, learning class, missions class, something like that. But pretty much we worked full time, like probably 35, 40 hours a week. And on an average week, if anything was happening, there was overtime. like missions, summer missions, 100-hour weeks, easy, like routinely.
And for the listeners who haven't seen the show yet, which you need to, obviously, you got to see the show so you understand what we're talking about.
Don't push yourself getting triggered.
Right. Trigger warnings for that. But you were paying to be there. You weren't being paid for all of this labor that you were doing.
And, you know, I was the type of person that would bring questions up when things didn't seem to match. And so I would complain after a while, like about all the overtime I was working, or just that I didn't want to do it. And the threat was always, well, you can go work in the call center if you don't like this. I was like, no, I don't
control.
want to. So I'll stay and do this. And
so it was the threat of hell and the threat of the call center that like made you do what you needed to do.
That was it. But like the worst labor violations, and just like I look back and I just can't even believe that we did this. So I was there the second year they had moved to Texas. So like the first year it was like, we got to put sidewalks in. We got to do like basic, you know, like campus maintenance to just like get it usable. Right. So everybody's like not walking in red dirt. And so the second year I was there, and it was like, okay, we got to put up these big giant Quonset huts on the back 40 campus, so that when all these missionaries come for the summer, there's some place for them to sleep. Right. So every day, I can't remember how many weeks this went on, several weeks, we would do our normal tasks, which were scheduled to the hilt as it was. We'd finish at workday at 5. You have an hour to eat and change. And then at 6, you got to be back at the Quonset huts, and we would build Quonset huts and bunk beds for another 4 to 5 hours. Then 10, 11, we go back to sleep, and then we could do it all again the next day.
Oh my God.
I was freaking exhausted. Like, I've never been more exhausted in my life. It was just unbelievable.
And that's what they want, right? They just want you tired and broken and
right. Yeah. Well, you know, lack of sleep is like
it's a torture device.
Yeah. And it makes you not able to think clearly too.
Yeah. Well, and if every minute of your day is scheduled with some activity or task that you have to be attending, when do you have time to think, process, reflect? You don't. You're just go constant. And then the year is up and you're like, what the fuck just happened to me? You know?
Yeah, there's no time to think for yourself. What I think about is like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? So like if your most basic needs aren't being met, you're not sleeping well. Mm-hmm. You're not going to have time to think about your emotional needs, or, you know, your ability to cope is gone, right? So I think there's definitely some intentionality with that. Too, with them keeping you that busy and that overworked and that tired and that, you know, probably a bit malnourished too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Tons of malnourishment, especially on the mission trips. I'm sure Liz told the story, just probably didn't make the air, but on one of her mission trips, she went for 2 months, and they gave him like literally, she was in Nepal, I think, and they gave him literally nothing except like peanut butter and jelly, to the point like where her hair was falling out by the end of the trip. She's a teenager. Hair should not be falling out.
That's horrible.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's like the $5 a day and let God will take care of the rest or whatever. You know, it's like
that just shows you how little they value these kids who are giving everything, and they're literally treating them like garbage.
It's so sad. And like, I know I said this already, it just broke my heart, like how in the home videos you just are so sad, and you can just tell like that you are, you know, and I'm sure it has to do with, I mean, you're gay, you don't know that, but like you're not living your life how you want to be.
Yeah, and by that time I forgot about the whole conversion therapy thing. We didn't mention that. That was also between Teen Mania and college. There was a little conversion therapy incident. So
no big deal.
Yeah, no God at all.
Get it out of my body.
Walk in the park.
Who put you in conversion therapy? Was that your family? Was it the church?
It was a youth pastor at my church, and my mom called him up because he had also struggled. So, you know, because that's what we do.
Confide in him? Did you confide in him, or did you?
It wasn't much to confide. I didn't do anything except hold her hand. I was getting asked all these invasive questions, and I'm like, I don't even know what y'all are talking about. We're just best friends. Like, I literally did not know y'all. And so that was also traumatic, because it felt like I'm in big trouble for being friends with a girl, and I don't know exactly what I did was wrong. So I'm just going to not be friends with any girls that I really seem to like, because I don't know what was bad, but if I don't do that, then I just avoid the whole thing. That was 10 years ago.
I don't know if I missed it in the documentary, but on your TikTok, you mentioned an ex-husband.
I got married in 2005, and I'm super lucky. My ex-husband has been 1000% supportive of my, entire journey. And we're still great friends today. We would double date and stuff, but he just moved last week. That's why we were having lunch to the next province over with his girlfriend. But we used to we would go on double dates or do holidays with them. So it's been really awesome to not have to lose that relationship.
That's good.
And was that was marriage pushed on you, or did you feel like that's just what I need to do, or was that part of the conversion?
Okay, well, I'm in my mid-20s and this is what you do next. I'm done with college and I've got a job, and okay, now I find the husband and I'm following the script. That's what you do.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Aaliyah knows that very well.
That's just what you do. Yeah. Yeah.
But Aaliyah had magic underwear that she did it in.
That's just the next step.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
No, it is. You're just following along with what you're supposed to be doing.
Right. And it's I was so sheltered and so kept in ignorance that I knew when I decided to marry my husband, I was very conscious of the fact that I wasn't physically attracted to him. But I weighed it against all of the other things. And I was kind of well, you can't get everything. It literally never once occurred to me that would mean I would have to have sex I didn't like. Because that was never even of course everybody loves straight sex. That's of course. No,
that's
not of course.
That's the only kind of sex there is, right?
Exactly. Right. So everybody's always, I've waited all this time. Everybody says it's going to be amazing.
Right.
Spoiler alert.
But purity culture makes it that you aren't expecting it to be mind-blowing because it's just to procreate, right? So are you thinking that?
I mean, I think society just, even if the church doesn't tell you that it's good, I mean, just society does. And, I mean, I just expected it's this thing that you're saving it. So it's special. And
that was it.
Yeah. Why, the switch immediately flipped and turned to dread in my body. I could not understand what that was,
And it's hard when you haven't had experience with women. Yeah. So, you're I guess this is what I'm supposed to be feeling. Is this normal? You don't have anything to base it off of.
And a lot of quote unquote straight women complain about sex with their husbands. They don't like it. They don't. So I'm okay, this is normal, I guess.
Right.
It's probably compulsory heterosexuality, because if it was so natural, everybody would just do it and enjoy doing it.
Right.
It's not natural if you have to enforce it.
Can you talk a little bit about purity culture and maybe what your experience was like, and maybe talk about what an accountability partner was?
There was so much emphasis on purity culture, but not even just the actions of purity culture. Not just don't date anybody that's not a Christian, and then don't even date them, and then don't, think about having sex. You can't even have thoughts about it. Not only can you not do it, now you can't even think about it. It was so locked down that nothing could develop, you're supposed to, as you grow, have experiences and develop as a person based on those experiences and what you learn. And Christianity was just no, take this and call me in the morning and that's it. It's there's no room for growth. It's only just you do this, I say you do it, and you do it, and that's it.
But they know people are going to fail at that because they're normal. And so then it's another chance for them to say, you're a piece of shit. You're not doing this right. You need to pray more. You're a sinner.
Yes. I think probably the top of mind concern for every sincere Christian teen is terror about the level of amount that they're masturbating. Terror that they're going to be found out, terror that makes them perverted. And it's literally, there's no harm being done to anybody there at all. And we don't need to be spending brain power feeling guilty about that. And yet every Christian teen, that's what they're stressed about. And that's why they have to go after the kids, because they know adults won't buy into it.
Right.
It's a very sinister strategy. And Ron Luce, what he's learned from all of this, because I've looked at him in the past year, his new thing is you have to go after the kids before they get to 13. His new thing is we just got to go younger.
what is it? Generation. He has a new thing, right?
Yeah,
Generation
next. And
Yeah.
that's his thing, is we got to go after like 10, 11, 12-year-olds. Yeah.
Grown men should not want to be around your kids. You should not have grown men around your kids who are not family. Even some family. Like, there should not be grown men who want to be around your kids.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Yeah, and all these grown men interested in kids' sex lives, teenagers' sex lives, what's that about? Why is that not weird? Why have we like normalized men talking about their daughters' sex lives or future sex lives?
So gross.
Or like the concept of like
butt out.
Yeah, even like the concept of like the purity dinners and balls and stuff with your dad, and like him giving you a purity ring and making you as a 12-year-old promise to your dad that you're not gonna go out and fuck anybody without telling him.
It's so disgusting. I don't know how these men live with themselves, realizing that they're basically just trafficking their own daughters into exploitation. That's all fucking Jim Bob Duggar's doing. Sending all these women up. Okay, you're gonna be this one. You're gonna be this one's property. You're gonna be that one's property, and like that's all it is. It's property exchange.
Right. While they're talking shit about other countries and their stuff, like child brides and arranged marriages and all that stuff, they're doing this. Yeah, but they're doing the same shit. They're just wrapping it in a Jesus bow and saying that it's right because they're doing it.
Here's the thing, and this took me a long time because I'm too sincere, and it's hard for me to believe that other people aren't. But like, they know that they are preying on you and using Jesus to trick you. They know it's a trick. They know it's a scam. And so like, they're never going to confess that, but they know it. And like the rest of us are waiting on some kind of accountability, confession. It is never coming. It is never coming. Just know that all these people know exactly what they're doing. And they're doing it on purpose, and they're using Jesus and they're using religion. And if you do care about Jesus and religion, that should be offensive to you, in order to further their very political and financial goals.
Right. And I think Christians should be the most outraged, because it's like, if you truly believe this and you want to follow Jesus, it's like, how are you letting these things happen in your religion? Like, I just wish that more, I'm sure there is a lot, but I wish that more Christians would speak out against it, because it's like, come on, you don't have to be an atheist to call out the shitty and harmful behaviors of the church.
And I think there are people certainly that do that like on an individual level.
Right.
But if you look at like the systemic propaganda on one side, publishing houses, media companies, like television stations, like they have so much for their propaganda arm versus a few people talking on social media who are not organized, who are not capitalized, who are not, networked. Like, we have a real asymmetry here, and like we've got to figure out what to do about it. We just need no billionaires.
We don't want billionaires, but I mean, we need to be more funded and more like, that's what they have, is they have so much money and so many people on their side, and there's a lot of people on our side, but for some reason we just can't seem to like get the funding and the
and they are also purposely trying to keep us from organizing, right? I mean, they're like purposely censoring things, like purposely making it harder for us to connect with people through multiple ways. I mean, because they're not incented for anybody to rise up against them. They're going to do everything they can to prevent that. And especially now, as like AI comes more online and surveillance is going to go to a whole nother level, because now it doesn't have to be a person watching you to see what you say or type. Right. Now it could just be AI surveilling you. And so, if you talk about something queer, get ready to get sent down to the camp,
Right.
Speaking of money, $20 million a year is what Teen Mania was making.
Yeah, they were pulling it in. I mean, Ron, he had a lot of big donors, and these big donors, they like to do something that they think is very impactful. And so having a stadium full of kids, that feels real good to these, donors that want to like have influence. And I mean, even in the last couple months of Teen Mania's demise, I know that Ron was trying to pitch millionaires, and they were still thinking about it, like saving and bailing him out. And the reality is, he spent awful the entire time of Teen Mania. It only caught up with him at the end because he quit getting in so much new revenue. That was the only reason it caught up with him. He was always spending like crazy on stupid stuff.
Well, that was crazy to me so your blog started in 2009, right? By what? 11 or 12 is when like it had already started going bankrupt.
So I think 2000, either 10 or 11, I can't remember, was when the documentary came out, and that helped the visibility go to like a whole nother level, because I was already on the front page of Google for anything that you searched about in regards to Teen Mania. And so that was doing quite a bit of damage. But you had to search for it, like outside of just in the wider sphere, like it wasn't much. But Ron is so smart that literally like 2 hours before it premiered, I remember it was a Sunday night, he sent out an email to his entire list of tens of thousands of people and says, please pray for us, warriors. God, the devil is attacking us with this MSNBC. So he just told everybody, this documentary is about to come on. And I'm like, thank you for publicizing.
Thank you for the publicity.
Like,
yeah.
Appreciate that.
His PR person was like, "Oh my God, what did you do?"
At that time, they still weren't taking it seriously. It was after the documentary that they hired Cindy, who is now a wonderful friend of mine, and I'm so glad that we got to connect through this experience.
That was one of my questions. I was gonna, because I know she seemed very sincere in her like realization that, you know, and there is a little bit of that they touch on, where it's like all of these people had trauma and they were raised in it too, and that's why they looked the other way. But the people who really like realized it and wanted to change and wanted to fix it, those are the ones that you have the pity for. The ones who realized that it was shitty and haven't tried to change, it's like, well, you know,
you can't,
I don't know,
you can't wake people up if they're pretending to be asleep, but because they obviously knew what was happening. You know, they obviously.
But you could definitely see that she was like, this is not right. And when she says like, he lied to my face, and you're not supposed to lie, you know, it's like that was her moment of like, this isn't right. So,
and I think there's a lot of people like Cindy and like me who are like really taking it all very seriously and really believing in it. And when it doesn't match, when the words and the actions don't match, we are very alarmed. We're like, this isn't right. We're about love and truth and justice, and like you're saying this other dishonest thing, and that's not matching. And it is very confusing, because like it literally never occurred to me that people that I know could be like, because they're very charming, you know, in person at first, the love bombing, like these people are very skilled at what they do. You don't meet them and go, oh, that's a cult leader. You're like, oh, they're really nice. They're really charming. Oh, I like them. Oh, they're going to speak. Let's go see them. You know, like nobody is like, I'm signing up to go join the cult. Nobody thinks that's what they're doing.
Right. And when you're so genuine and like strong in your beliefs, it's normal to think everyone is like that, especially when you're autistic. Like it's, you know, I just assume everybody says exactly what they mean, and like, it's so it's hard.
I think like my favorite line in the show was when Cindy said, once you know the truth, you can't go back.
Right.
Because that's the thing, we all have to face that in multiple times in our life, right? Like we know the truth about some situation, some person, some whatever. And it's, what are you going to do with that truth? Are you going to look away? Are you going to pretend you don't know it? Are you going to deny it? Or are you going to like incorporate that into your new reality and make whatever adjustments have to be made?
Right. Yeah. I do a daily check to make sure I'm not in a cult. I'm just like, did I join any cults? Am I in any cults? Am I like going down any roads that I shouldn't be? And like, I mean, it's silly, but like sometimes I'm like, okay, I've been reading about this a lot, like, and I'm kind of, you know, not making it my personality, but I'm like, I've really been focusing on, you know, this topic. And then I'm just like, okay, I just making sure that I'm not like going.
It's not bad to check in with yourself, like, and to like, you know, ask yourself, and because nobody's going to tell you, hey, you're in a cult. Like very few people will tell you that, you know?
Right. Well, and it's hard to, I mean, even something simple, like I'm on a weight loss journey, you know, trying to get healthy, but you know, then you're like following these people who like have supplements and all this kind of stuff. And then we've all learned about the whole, like, what is it? The beef tallow Republican pipeline. Like, I'm just trying to make sure, like, okay, I'm really liking these protein shakes and I'm following their page and all this stuff. Like, am I, you know, and then I'm going on their YouTube, and then I'm like, wait a second, am I getting sucked into like some sort of, as long as it's not an MLM or like something that RFK Jr. is backing, I feel like I'm okay.
Well, like, I think it's smart to think that, because like literally these people are spending hundreds of millions of dollars to hook us with something that's innocuous, beef tallow or being healthy or whatever, and then slowly funnel us down some rabbit hole that we don't want to go down. And like they're spending millions of dollars to make this happen. So, you know, I think it would be smart and a good practice for all of us to like check on that. Yeah,
because there is like the like wellness to alt-right pipeline is definitely a very real thing. So don't worry, Christina, we're going to make sure that you don't slip down that slope.
I just wouldn't be your friend anymore. I'm sorry.
I'm pro-vax. I'm still pro-science. I'm like, okay, I'm doing all right. But it's like, you know, it's just so strange how something simple as like trying to lose weight, all of a sudden you're like following people and you're like, I don't feel like she's giving me some information, but there's something off about this. And then you like check their page and they're like just crazy nutballs. And I'm like, okay, maybe not. Let me unfollow this person.
And I think like we're in like the age of the guru more than ever. Everybody wants to be a guru. Everybody wants to have a following. Everybody wants to, you know.
Everybody's a life coach.
Yeah, everyone wants to be the next TED Talk or whatever. And it's like, okay, what is that really getting anybody? Like society's not improving from that.
I don't think we need life coaches. I don't trust them.
Nope. And the next thing you know, like you're falling in love with your psychiatrist and having conversations with AI Henry.
Because we don't have elders in community. We don't have, like in the before times, you would just go to the elder person that has status because of the life they've lived, not because of like they have money, but because
or the number of followers they have.
Right. And not just because they're like really good at social media and they got a lot of people to click follow, you know, like I'm anti-guru. Like I only want people to follow me as long as I'm leading them back to themselves. Because I think we've been led away from ourselves by all of this. And the key is we each have to go back to ourselves because only I know what my purpose is, what I'm here to do and like how I'm supposed to be. You don't know, you can't tell me. And I don't know how you're supposed to be. So I can't tell you.
All of your stuff is like that. I mean, anytime any of the videos I've seen, you're like, you got to take a look at what's inside. You're not telling people that you're taking that on for them. You're telling them like, you really got to look at yourself.
And that's the thing is like, we all have to do our own work. Like we can't, like a guru's advice isn't gonna shortcut the work. Like we all have to deal with our grief. We all have to, like, there are no shortcuts. You just have to do it. Like you just have to go through.
Right. That's why the giving it up to God and just having faith and stuff, like it doesn't work. You have to do the work. You have to face the pain and you have to face all that stuff. You can't just like poo-poo it away to like some imaginary sky daddy.
Yeah.
And I think we start by taking away microphones from men. And that is what I'm going to say.
I have a suggestion. 1 year moratorium on men talking to microphones. 1 year. They've had how many thousands? Can we just have one? Women only and non-binary people only.
Yeah, absolutely.
Could we try that? Could men give us like, we can give you 1 year.
Yeah, like I don't think there's anything that a man could teach me about my experience or I don't know. Any man that feels like he could be a guru, I don't want to hear what you have to say because go build something. Just kidding.
Right. Go mow a lawn.
Is that the reverse of go make me a sandwich? Go build.
Yeah. Go mow.
Go hammer a nail.
Yeah. Like as a like non-binary queer person, I'm just sort of like I feel like I'm on the outside just watching everybody fight. And I kind of see like I see the point on the women's side and I see a point on the men's side and I wish I could just come in and be like, okay, y'all, can we talk? I see both of y'all's sides. Maybe we can like to the middle here a little bit. Not that there's a middle because the men are like they need to come way further over than
I know what you mean.
They really do.
Yes.
But it's just so sad. Like nobody's happy. Like the men are pissed. Even when they're married and they get the wife and kids they want, they still seem pissed. So I don't really know.
I think some of them need to get a man. Right?
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth.
Like if you respect and love men and hold them up and you don't enjoy spending time with women, you don't like hold your wife up on a pedestal, it's like maybe you need a man. I don't know because
something's not working.
There's something there.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like that old, what was that, Jeff Foxworthy? Remember how he'd be like, you might be a redneck? Like, you might be gay. Like, if you want to spend all your time with men.
I could do those all day long.
Yes.
It's easy for you to kiss day and goodbye. You might be gay.
Okay.
Well, I had to laugh because I had the same feeling as you when I saw that whole like Doug Wilson, Pete Hegseth thing where that guy, that pastor's like, there's no talent in bringing a child into the world, and you're like, there's. I'm gonna be crass. You were much more demure about it, but I like there's no talent in shooting your load in somebody. Like,
In a whole
what are
big
you talking
do.
about?
Every kid does
Right.
it every day. Like we're supposed to praise you for that like bare minimum thing that you love to do. We're supposed to praise you for that.
Their favorite pastime. It's so easy for them. It's like it's over in 2 seconds. Like what did you do?
What?
It's so easy. You can do it into a sock. Like,
you know, if I could make one change to like the human body, it would be that you can only get pregnant when the woman orgasms.
Amen.
Let's go.
Because that would get rid of some unwanted children, unwanted pregnancies.
A lot. Oh, a lot.
Yeah. And then the guy could actually have something to brag.
Right.
I don't know that. So why am I congratulating you? Like
100%. I don't understand. I've never faked it. I don't understand why you would fake it and make them feel like they're doing something right if they aren't. I'm like, you need to learn if you're not doing it.
I can tell you why.
Okay.
For people like me.
Yeah.
Because then it's over faster.
Right. I do get that.
Yeah.
But for the people who
like
enjoy it or want it, it's like,
no, that is odd. Yeah.
You know, you didn't do a good job and I'm going to make you feel better about yourself. No, like
I can tie this all in for you together, Noe.
Okay, perfect.
If you're ready. Okay.
I'm ready.
It's just like when people fake speaking in tongues or fake falling out in the spirit because they're in this situation where there's this immense social pressure and you have an understanding of the thing that you're supposed to do.
Right.
And you feel out of place if you're not doing the thing that you're supposed to do. So you fake it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way of putting it. Yeah, it's like these scripts that we're given and then we just do them because we feel expected to, and it feels weird if we don't.
Yeah. Right. I guess I'm just too literal and too much of a bitch. I'm just like, no, nothing happened. Like,
right. Good for you.
You suck.
Anyways, I'm not going to give you a gold star for doing nothing now. Yeah. Anyways.
Right. You gotta work for it.
That is too funny.
Is there anything that you wished had been highlighted more in the documentary?
That's a good question. You know, I mean, I think they really managed to pack a lot in those 3 episodes. Like, so I can't imagine that they could have put one more thing in there. So, I mean, I think like overall it was a pretty good overview snapshot. Obviously there's like so many more things you could do like deep dives on, but you know, my main concern was that I really wanted people to understand the level of indoctrination. And I think it got that across. So I'm really glad because I didn't want people to think like, oh, this is just like dumb. If they can convince you to roll down a hill of vomit, well, you're just dumb. Like you deserve to have it happen to you if you're that dumb. And like, that really is a complete flattening of what actually took place and like the actual vulnerability of these kids and the actual way that like they're targeted, and it's a campaign with like multiple steps and layers. Like this isn't just like incidental. Come on, kid. It's like, it's a machine, you know?
Yeah, I think they did a pretty good job of showing like the brainwashing and the intention going on and how they took advantage of you guys. So I'm glad that they didn't like sensationalize it in the wrong way.
Or
and you can see it, or at least I can. The dead eyes, like there's just like there's no life in there. It's just regurgitating what people are telling you to say and what people are drilling into your head, and it's really sad that I mean, when it's adults, like it's sad, but when it's kids, and then, you know, it's us with the woke agenda that's indoctrinating kids, but really, no, like you have a fucking army of kids over here, like being tortured and being put in coffins with bugs and like all this kind of stuff, like to just get them down to feel so tiny. Yeah. And I think it was you that said it. They're constantly praising you, but also constantly telling you that you're worthless. Like, and it's always been that way. I mean, with me at least, like the shitty stuff is so much easier to believe, but you grasp onto that one little like nugget of praise. Mm-hmm. And that probably kept you going. And then they shit on you again. And then they give you a little like crumb. And
exactly. That is the exact dynamic. And that is not just in this, but like every abusive dynamic is pretty much
Yeah.
that way. Like no abusive relationship starts out all shitty. Like it's really fun, exciting. They're interested in you. They love you. You're important. They make you feel all these things, and then they take them away and make you feel shitty, and then give you a little glimpse of that original thing.
Right. It's that intermittent reinforcing.
Yeah. And it's just, it's really, it's cruel because you're never planning to give that person what you're dangling in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
You're not. And so, the quicker the person who's being dangled realizes it and gets out, the better.
Yeah. And sometimes they don't ever. And that's just like terrible. But what's funny is there will be thousands of people who watch that and who are in a different religion and will watch it and be like, oh, that's crazy. Like,
right.
How did they do that? Like, whatever, my religion's not like that. And it's like, oh my God, it's all the same.
Right.
It's all the same.
And there's so many religions, hundreds, thousands. It's like, oh, thank God I was born into the right one and everybody else is wrong.
Right.
Yes.
Remember, I'm a huge Broadway show tunes nerd. And I remember when Book of Mormon came out and I was listening to the songs and it was like, yeah, this is cool. I get it. And then it's like, then they do their crazy, like what the crazy beliefs are in the song. And then it's like, oh, it's a cult. It's weird. Like, it's like, I was like jiving with like the main characters. Like, you're not supposed to. That should have been my clue.
Right.
Like, until they went to the crazy part, I'm like, oh, they're just a crazy religion. Like, it's like, no, Micah, you're a crazy religion too. Like, it's just a different flavor.
Right. Well, at least you realize that. I went to the Book of Mormon and there were families there who had no idea what they were doing and like getting up and leaving like in a huff. And my
kids.
my mother-in-law is Lutheran and she's very sweet and she's very Christian. And she loves plays and she's like, I think I'm gonna go see Book of Mormon. And I'm like, I don't think you'd like it. And she's like, I like bad words and I like this. And I'm like, I understand you think because it's a different religion that you're gonna like get what I go, but there's literally like a song like fuck you God. Like it's like I don't think you're gonna like it. If you love God, you're probably not gonna like this.
Right. And I think a lot of people don't realize that Mormons are Christians. Like,
well, that's because Christians don't think Mormons are Christians.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I think was so funny because like the whole Mitt Romney thing, I'm like, do y'all not remember when we all hated Mitt Romney because he wasn't the right kind of Christian? Now we like him because he's politically expedient. That's interesting, but like
how far we've fallen.
Yeah.
I'm like, please give me Mitt Romney now. And my first time that I was able to vote was Romney against Obama. And I mean, I've always been the same way politically. I just couldn't stand him. And I mean, I still can't. But it's just like to see where we were then versus now. I'm like, Romney's kind of hot. Just kidding. I'm like in comparison to what's going on right now, I'm just like, we have fallen so far. It's really depressing.
It's like, that's what Teen Mania is better than the abusive house I was in. It's like one abuser can be better than another in terms of your personal experience in the situation, but they're still both abusive.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've fallen really far politically if we're wanting Mitt Romney back.
Like the voice of reason.
We miss. I know.
I'm
like bad. Bush. I miss Bush. I hated him with every fiber of my being, but when I see him like painting, I'm like, oh, he's so cute.
He's my cute little war criminal. Oh, look at him with his paintings.
But compared to like Trump, I mean, they're just like all little angels compared to Trump, it seems like, even though they're not. But
comparing them to the average man is like not even as good as like an exceptional woman. Like it's like or the other way around. I don't know if I said that right, but like
I know what you mean.
Just they have to do nothing.
Yeah, the other way around.
Right.
Yeah,
and the good men benefit from the men who are bad. It's like they're relying on being graded on a curve. You know what I mean? Yeah. So even the good men, they rely on the real shitty ones because they're not being graded accurately. Yeah. They're just being compared to the worst of the worst. So it's like it benefits all men.
100%. And I try to, every time I think about like that level of misogyny and like the systemic of it, what I try to do is reframe to use it as a mirror to think, okay, in what ways am I on the other side of that dynamic? as a white, non-binary or white person, because people of color, they're looking at me the same way. Like, I'm getting by not being as bad as what I mean? So like this dynamic, it cuts both ways. And I think we need to really be aware of like which part we're playing, and not assume we can only be on the victim side, because we can all be on both sides.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, for sure.
What was it like after you came out, and like, not came out that way, after you started your blog and after, you sent in, you FedExed it to all of the board members, how did you handle like that level of harassment and fear? Because I imagine that was probably really scary.
Yeah. And plus I lived only like 2 hours from the cult. I lived like in the Dallas area, and they're in East Texas. So that wasn't ideal. Like, I think I would have felt better if I was further away. Cause I definitely had people, come like throw things at my door, like talk about my dogs by name, threaten them, and like, make other websites about me, calling me an escort, like just dumb stuff. But at the end of the day, like, it doesn't matter what you do to me. Like, this isn't about me, and this isn't about my fear. Like, there's something that's more important than my fear, and there's something that's more important than what I even have to say about my own personal opinion. Like, this is affecting thousands, hundreds of thousands of kids in really deeply negative ways. And you can't stop it if you don't talk about it. Like, that's the whole thing, right? It's like nobody's talking about it. We were all sworn to silence and like terrified of speaking. Even after we've grown up and like become full adults, people still don't talk about it,
Yeah.
And like, I just wasn't okay with that anymore. And I just think like the harassment, yeah, it was there. And was I scared? Yeah. But like, there's just something more important than.
And then speaking of actually coming out, because that is super important, I'm just wondering, how was that process?
That was the most scary thing. That was way more scary than going against. Yeah. The first time I realized I was gay, I was like in my mid-30s, and I had taken an edible, and it was like early in my experience with cannabis. So it was the most high I had gotten pretty much to that point. And I got there and I was like, oh my God, I'm gay. Because I had so many blocks against knowing that about myself, because it was too dangerous to know. It was too scary, that I was like, oh my God, when I realized it. And then I cried for 4 hours, and then I forgot about it for 2 years, because like it was too disruptive to my life. Like, I'm married. Right. I'm like happily married to a guy. Like, what do I do with this? Like, this isn't too late. That ship has sailed, And so I tried to like bury it back and like literally put it out of my mind and forgot about it. Like, literally. The same way I worked for several years. Your mind is a very powerful thing, and it will do what it has to do to protect you. So when I finally, so it was another 2 years after that. So I think it was 2016 when I finally came out to myself. And then within a couple of months, I came out to my husband, who was not surprised. He was like, oh, this all makes sense. Now I get now I get what we're dealing with. But I still didn't date women or anything, because Trump had just won. And so I was dealing with all of that. But then it was like, I've got to run for office, and I can't be gay and run for office in this place in Texas. Like, I can't. Mm-hmm. So I won't. So the more important thing is I feel like I have to run for office, and this personal thing can wait. Whether or not, oh, boop, 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 boop. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. My computer just the battery went dead. I didn't realize it, but the plug had come out, and sorry about this.
Oh, yeah. No problem.
You're totally fine.
We're just glad that you're back.
Yeah. Sorry.
We were just talking about how we forgot to even have that in our notes about you running for office. Oh. It was in Texas?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, it's really funny. Literally 2 days after the documentary dropped, the guy I ran against, he wrote a bunch of anti-abortion laws. His mistress of many years just came forward the same week the documentary dropped and dropped so much tea about him paying for abortions and doing all kinds of perverted stuff with I won't even say, but literally the 2 days after the documentary, I was like, So there's people are getting karma now.
Right?
It's
Oh my
always
gosh.
the ones that claim these other people are deviants. They're just
They're always the
projecting.
worst ones. Yeah.
And I'm so glad this came out because he has such a like buttoned up image of like a like stand up guy. Unlike a lot of the like right wing kind of blowhards who are real broy, he doesn't come off that way, but he is. They
Right.
just hide it better.
Yeah.
Right.
They're always the ones.
Yep. And so what was that? So you were, well, because I do think I saw a image of your campaign
Yeah.
headshot or something, and you were very female presenting, long hair. So you were just
I ended up hardcore for that. It was painful.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I had long curly hair as it was, and it took a while for me to cut it, but like I got a whole new like wardrobe specifically for campaigning because like
Right.
my normal dykey wardrobe that I've always had was not going to cut it. Like even for the very first documentary I did, I femmed it up. Like those clothes I bought specifically. Like I was wearing like a necklace. I don't wear necklaces. Like I was like I can't look. I didn't even think of myself as gay back then, but it's just like there's gender roles that like you have to look a certain way for people to take you seriously or to like believe what you're saying. So it's kind of like if I have to look this way so that people don't discount my words,
Right.
And I hate that society is like that.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can't, there's just this box around like your ability to live authentically yourself because of what other people think and view. And like, it just sucks because if everyone was able to just be themselves and put themselves out there 100%, like just imagine the authenticity that people would feel from one another and that they'd be able to experience for themselves. And yeah, here we are. This is the system that we've chosen, I guess.
And they wouldn't be starting cults, that's for sure.
I think a lot of the loudest haters of the queer community or just people who are, not gender conforming, I think they're really angry that they can't be their true self.
Yeah,
they're like, how dare this person?
And you're doing it, and you need to suffer for that because I'm suffering.
Right.
And you need to
Exactly.
stop suffering.
Absolutely.
How does it feel to be such a badass who took down an abusive cult?
I mean, it feels really good. It's obviously like blew my mind when it happened. But it's like super, super rewarding to know that there's hundreds of kids that did not have to have the experience that I had or the experience that the other people had. They got to just go have a normal life and not be traumatized. And I'm really grateful for that. And I'm like really grateful for like all of the relationships that I've made with other people who are like on this journey with me, where we're just trying to get rid of all of these toxic lies and all this poison that's been put into our system so we can like be ourselves. And, there's never too late. I was 40 before I started dating women and living as my authentic self. And I thought it was too late back then. I was like, oh, I can't start over now. Like, I've been married 15 years. I've been like, ship has sailed. But like the ship's never sailed. You're still breathing. You're still alive. You're still you. If you really want to spend the whole rest of your life never being your authentic self, or you want to like, okay, we'll cut our losses. We didn't from birth to now. Maybe has not been great, but like they don't have to have another day of my life. They don't have to have another minute of my energy, my focus, my time, my attention. All of that can go back into me and the people that I love and the things that bring me joy.
Yeah, I love that.
That is awesome.
Is there anything else that you wanted to share about your journey or your story that you feel is important before we move on to our silly little 7 minutes in heaven questions?
I think I just encourage everybody like who's grown up with this to just practice trusting yourself. You start small, start with something little inconsequential because we're not used to trusting ourselves, and just you practice the muscle. You just do the reps, and it gets easier and easier, and it gets stronger, and it starts to feel normal instead of feeling like something scary or dangerous. And they wanted us to be scared of our own power. That's why they put all these things on us. And so I just encourage everybody just practice trusting yourself. You're not bad. You're not evil. You're not wrong. I mean, unless you're a psychopath, but I'm not talking to those.
Then you are bad, evil, and wrong.
Yeah.
But for most people,
they're not listening. They're not hearing us.
Yeah.
No.
If you're listening to this, it's probably because you actually care about the world and you're about being the best version of yourself and hopefully like making the world a better place and all of those kinds of things. And so like, if that's a bent you naturally have, like, I'm going to go out on a limb and say like, you're probably a good person deep down inside.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I know that the final words that you have in the documentary, and I typed them out and I was like, but I know people need to see them, but in a nutshell, it's just talking about how there are people out there that are authoritarian, they're plotting, they're planning. We see it every day, right? I mean, we just did a Christian nationalism episode, and it really is. It's just the red string with all the pins. Everybody's connected. It's been going on for decades.
Yeah.
And they are working really hard at trying to make this a Christian nation and make all the laws, based around that. And it is really scary. And it does sound really scary when you say it and then it just ends.
Yeah.
And I know that they wanted that like as a, like for the drama. But it is true. Like it is really happening. And
people
so
need to hear it.
Yeah.
They
need to hear not everyone realizes. A lot of people just kind of put their head in the sand, and it's like,
and if you didn't grow up,
can't do that anymore.
In this world or adjacent to this world, you would have no idea that these people have been essentially plotting right under your nose to take the country away from you and to take away your rights. But that's what they've been doing, and they've been doing it for decades. And so I think it's important people understand that like this thing that's happening now and is unfolding, this is the climax. They have been waiting. They are chomping. They cannot fucking wait to take away women's rights. They're like, oh man, I'm just like they're like so excited. They are not going to take it easy on anybody. They're going to unleash levels of cruelty that we probably haven't even imagined yet, God forbid. And people need to realize the existential nature of this threat in order to start wrapping our minds around what we have to do to fight it. Because what we've been doing is not enough. Calling senators, representatives, running for office, none of that's going to cut it anymore. And I'm not saying I have the answer of what is going to cut it, but I know that we're never going to fix it until we can actually acknowledge what the actual problem is. And part of that is going to have to be in any future country that we exist in that has any sort of rights cannot have an entire Christian brainwashing industrial complex dedicated to segregating children from the rest of society and keeping them locked in these toxic thoughts and patterns. Like, we have to dismantle the entire system. Yeah. And I don't think people are ready to hear that, but I hope that they're getting ready.
Right. And that's the thing. They're like, oh, you're fear mongering. Oh, you're blah, blah, blah. And that's just their way of like gaslighting us into thinking like, are we really just scared? Are we really not? It's not really that bad.
Accusations of fear mongering coming from the top fear mongers who have done nothing but fear monger us our whole life about hell and the gays and this and that. Everybody's coming for us. The movies, the music, they're all coming for you. But no, people are actually physically coming for our lives and our rights now. Like actually coming for us. And now you want to pretend that that's fear mongering? No, I'm aware. I have my eyes open and you don't want me to have my eyes open and you can't get me to shut up about it either. And that's what I'm at.
Right. Yeah. And see, this is what's so awesome because of how deep you were. Like I there's hope. Like there's hope for people to realize this and change and grow. And, it just seems like it's on such a small scale that like, or we just see it on a small scale because they're not as loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
or something.
I don't know. You deconstruct sort of alone, like you leave your community and you're kind of just by yourself. And so all these people have left all these communities and everybody's sort of by themselves in the same journey, but on their own, and it's because we don't have buildings for people to come to every week and we don't have programs and we don't have, all the infrastructure. And so, but it is happening and it's always happening. And I want to make it happen more.
Yes.
Well, I would go to unchurch if that was a thing. Like if
right. And I feel like that's what we need. That's where everybody says like they miss the community. It's like there has to be a way to do something, but if you do it too much, then it does. It looks like a cult. It looks like a church. It looks like a whatever.
It's like the dance of individual rights and the collective. Like it's always a dance. You can't ever say it's always this or it's always that. Like you kind of have to like have some flexibility to go back and forth.
I think it's important to not have like a doctrine or truth claims. Like there shouldn't be any, you know what I mean? Like it should be everyone can believe what they want. So
I always have like 666 stuff or devil stuff. Like I don't believe in that shit, but I know that it like riles up the Christians, right? So, but that's like with the Church of Satan being like a secular, or is it church? There's the Church of Satan, and then there's something else.
Satanic temple.
Satanic temple.
Satanic temple.
That's it. They're like secular and this and that, but because they have the word Satan in them, people don't take it seriously enough that it needs another name. And I feel like that could kind of be like what could, bring people together. But because it's the Satanic temple, it doesn't get, Christians just think it's the devil, even though we don't believe in the devil, so we need something else that has a better name.
Yeah. The other sort of big advantage that they have on their side is a lot of these churches are very decentralized. So it's decentralized networks all over the country with affinities and connections, but the power and the money is in many ways decentralized. And we don't have anything like that on our side either. We don't have whatever state you're into, you can go to XYZ building and get this service or, whatever. Like there's not, like we've just been letting them build all this infrastructure and just ignoring it and thinking it'll go on its own. But they're building a fascist, army with these kids, and then they're grooming all the women to be virgins to submit to them, and then that's their reward. If you be in our fascist army, you get to have a virgin marry you and commit to you, and that's how they keep them too.
It's like, who would even want a virgin because they don't have any experience? Like
they don't want you to have experience because then you know the sex is bad.
I know.
That's one thing I don't get is all the men complaining about how women don't want to have sex with them. I'm like, that means you're bad at it. Like you're telling them you're not doing a good job.
I wouldn't be saying that.
I never have that problem, buddy. Never. Yeah. So
no.
Like take a lesson, maybe some queer women and figure out like where the clit is because
right. And it's not that hard. That's what I don't understand. It's right there. It's visible to the human eye. Like just go there.
Well, it's like when Ben Shapiro was talking about his wife never getting wet, and it's
you're like, oh, you don't want to,
you don't admit
you don't want to say that.
I know, like you don't even understand what you're revealing about yourself right now.
Right? He's like, it must be a medical issue.
So, on that note,
yes,
on to 7 Minutes in Heaven.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do it.
So, Mica.
Yes.
We are so grateful for you being on our podcast and answering some really tough questions and having some really important conversations. So, again, thank you for your time and your vulnerability.
Yes. You're so welcome. It's been so much fun.
Are you down to play our little game we call 7 Minutes in Heaven?
Let's do it. I'm a little scared, but let's do it.
So, first question is fuck, marry, kill.
Okay.
All right. We've got up for you today. We've got Caroline Leavitt, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Amy Coney Barrett.
That hurts.
I know.
Who was the first one killing them? I can't what she looks like.
She's the speaker, the White House speaker, KKK Caroline. She's got her little cross on every day and it spews all the bullshit for Trump.
I'd have to fuck one of these people. I can't, y'all.
Yeah, just one of them. Just fuck them. The fucking
Can I
is just
fuck
one
him like
time.
a man where I just like pump for a minute and I'm done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine.
That's probably all that they're
just
used
think
to
of
anyway.
who you want to kill.
Can I do? You know what? Kristi Noem, is she on the list? I'll do that to her.
Okay. All right.
She's not, but we can put her on. Yeah.
Well, okay.
We'll swap her out.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah. Marjorie's gonna kill. We gotta kill Marjorie. Go.
Okay.
So you're gonna marry Amy Coney Barrett?
Maybe I can do a little
smart
in the Supreme Court. Maybe there's something I can weasel my way. You know what? If I could just get access to their computers, maybe I can.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Smart. Okay. I think
I'm
that's
into
the
this.
right choice.
Yeah, that's the correct answer. What do you think happens when we die?
Oh, I have no idea. I definitely think there is something outside of this 3D material earthly realm. I have no idea what it is. I think it's probably something to do with our pure consciousness. Beyond that, I have no idea. I feel like my ability to understand it is probably the same as my dog's ability to understand the International Monetary Fund.
Yep.
Like doesn't even understand cash or credit cards, so we're definitely never getting to monetary fund. Yeah. So like I feel like I don't even understand the basics of whatever it is, so I can't even possibly comprehend it.
Love it.
Same.
Out of any religion, mythology, who do you think is the hottest deity?
Is Sappho a deity?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Sappho. You know, because like there's not, it's hard for a queer girl because there's not a lot of hot deities for us. You know, the gay guys have like their nice femme Jesus with the long hair and the like limp wrists on the cross, like, you know, but what
Right.
T-shirt idea. No, you write that down.
White Jesus with his blue eyes and his limp wrist.
And the nails.
I mean, and he did hang around dudes exclusively.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he had some women followers, some like fag hags, one could say.
So,
Absolutely.
there you go. Yeah. What is your Jello salad? So what we mean by that is like Noe and I spent some time in Mormonism, and Jello salad for Mormons is like the cultural dish that everybody enjoys. So do you have a dish from your upbringing in religion that you would still eat or make today?
Oh yeah, baby. This one is not unique to religion. It's probably more widespread in the South, but like some good Velveeta and some good Rotel, and just marry those things together. That's like a good, you can never go wrong with that. I mean, your arteries can, but it tastes really good.
Right.
You only live once, you know.
Right.
What was the food like there? Did you have good food when you were at the Honor Academy, or was it pretty shitty?
No, they actually spent less per head on food than like the Texas prison system does. So
okay. So it was not a culinary treat.
It was not great. No.
Got it.
Okay.
And it was like, you know, when I was there, it was just like, this is what the choice is today. There's no other choice. Like, it's this or nothing, you know?
Yeah.
So not ideal.
Okay. Yeah. If you were to start a cult today, what would the uniform be?
Ooh. I mean, obviously, women will be the supreme in my cult. And I think I could go a couple different ways. We could go harness and leather. We could go short plaid skirts and ties. That's very cute. I mean, we could go options. You could choose. I think something like that, something kind of sexy is what I would go for.
Hell yeah.
Brittany, it'd be like a Brittany.
Yes, Brittany, dude.
Something that Brittany wore in her videos.
Yes, absolutely. What is your favorite curse word?
Fuck. You can use it in so many different ways. Like, good, it's bad.
This is the common theme.
Yeah, it's the best.
Every time. I love it.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
It's a noun. It's an action word.
Right? Yes, it's so versatile. It's like the Swiss Army knife of cuss words.
Absolutely it is. Fuck yeah, it is. What is your guilty pleasure?
Ooh. Ice cream and flirting, probably.
Okay.
What's your favorite kind of ice cream?
What kind of ice cream? Is that what you said?
Yeah, what's your favorite?
Oh my God. I just found this up here is Canadian flavor. It's like got this vanilla with these little chocolate sticks in it. I don't know what they've done to put crack in this, but it's like so good. It doesn't feel like it should be. It's just like very plain looking, but can't get enough right now. Like, give me some Haagen-Dazs, like peanut butter chocolate, or that's the stuff.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And then you said flirting is the other one. So what's been your pickup line recently?
Girl, I don't have a line. I'm custom. It's per situation. It's
right.
I don't flirt like men. I don't have like a line. Like appreciating the woman in the moment for who she is. So I'm saying whatever that is, you know.
Right. Yeah, how was learning to flirt with women after, you know, repressing that for so long?
It was really fun. You know, what's funny is I learned I'm actually really good at it, and I didn't know. To the point that some people thought I was a player, because they said I always said the right thing. And I was like, well, I just really mean it. Like, I'm not trying to, it's not a manipulation. Like,
right.
That's how I really feel.
I'm pure of heart.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually am. Like, people don't believe it. And I'm like, no, I really, like, actually, there is no ulterior motives here.
Yeah.
You know, they already know I want to fuck them. Like, that's not ulterior.
Right.
Love that.
Right.
Oh, well, I'm glad that part of your experience was easy and smooth for you, because you deserve.
Right? That's nice. Well, it's also like when you finally like being who you are, life becomes easier because you're not trying to be somebody else.
Yeah, it's easy to be yourself.
Yeah.
Right. When you have the ability and the space to live an authentic life, it's easy to be yourself.
Yeah. And I was taught that if it was easy, it meant it was fleshly or worldly. Like, it was like you had to suffer, you had to be going through something hard for it to matter, count, or prove that you were doing the correct thing. I'm like, no, actually, you don't have to feel like you're suffering all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm glad because you deserve all of the joy and all of the love and happiness that...
And all of the sexy ladies. Well, you said you have a girlfriend, so that sexy lady in particular deserve it all.
I'm
okay.
Yes.
All the sexy ladies. There you go.
Yeah.
You're making up for lost time.
That's right.
Yes.
We love that.
Oh, I love that for you.
Yeah.
You know what? Yes. Can I ask one more question? Because I forgot to ask you.
Yeah.
But comments on things like calling you a hero and stuff. Do you feel any type of way about being called a hero in all of this? Like, are you like, fuck yeah, I'm a hero? Or are you like, I'm just doing what?
I don't know. I feel like I'm just myself. You know, I feel like anybody can do what I did. You just have to choose it. Like, I don't feel like I'm anybody special in the sense that like this is very replicatable. Like anybody, you can do this. Anybody can do this. Like, it's just telling the truth.
Right.
That's all it is.
But you did. For some people, that is very hard. So you still should be proud of yourself.
Well,
other people could do it, but they didn't.
Don't. Yeah,
they don't.
You did
a lot of them don't.
Yes.
So you deserve to feel proud of yourself.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. This is great. I really appreciate you.
You guys are so fun. I'd love to come back anytime. Y'all are a blast.
Yeah. Oh, I love that so much.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You guys are a blast. Thank you for doing this. Thanks for like putting your energy out into the world, and like, this is a hard thing to do, right? Like, start something from scratch, and you have to believe that your voice has value and that somebody wants to hear it. And like, sometimes that's really hard when we've been told our whole life, like, what you have to say doesn't matter. Shut up and sit down. So thank you for not shutting up. Thank you for not sitting down.
That's right.
It's like we're sitting down right now, but we're not shutting up.
Right. Aaliyah is sitting in the closet, but she is not in the closet.
I'm not in the closet.
Right.
I may be physically in the closet, but I have been out of the closet for years.
Yes. And some of us are wearing pants and some of us are not wearing pants. You know,
I'm not wearing
You'll never
pants at all.
You'll never know.
Never know.
Leave that to the listener's imagination. Okay. All right. This is great.
Thank you so much, guys.
Okay,
Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Girls Gone Godless. If you liked this episode, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to this episode. It helps heathens like you find bitches like us. If you would like to be a guest on the show, click the link in the notes to submit your story. And don't worry, if you want to be anonymous, we have an option for you. See you next week.